Welcome to the latest video on the Rubbish FPL Player channel. This video I'm going to talk about how my Game Week 30 went and then my plans and thoughts on Game Week 31. Game Week 30, 57 points, which is a small green arrow. I'll take any green arrow I suppose. It's 3.4 million ranks, so still rubbish. The average was 43, so a few more than that, but yeah, would like to be some bigger green arrows. There's 8 game weeks to go, so you never know. The safety score was 46 points, so he's just one above that. Going into the last game on Monday against Brentford and Wolves, didn't have anyone, and I think I had about 150-60k green arrow, so I thought I'd end up with a red arrow, not owning anyone, and players like Thiago were pretty well owned, and he did end up scoring, but I ended up getting a green arrow, as I said. I think the Wolves equalised right at the end, just turned that small red arrow into a small green arrow, so I'll take that. Looking at the team, who did well and who was good. Obviously, Bruno with 10 points was good. Obviously, would have been better if I captained him. Sheshko, I knew it was a bit of a gamble getting him in a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't start. But once again, he comes on as sub and scores, so I'll take that. Gabriel with 9 points is good. Ekatike on the captain. Didn't work out, didn't start, came on for 26 minutes, so that wasn't ideal. I think a lot of people though did captain Ekatike. I'm not sure what the stats were, but I think because they were playing Spurs, who have been in some awful form recently, well, pretty much all of this season, a lot of people captain Ekatike or maybe another Liverpool player. I know some people got in Salah and captained him, and he also didn't start. So not great. Looking at the rest, Munoz didn't play, so I got Ballard coming in for 4 points, which is all okay, I guess. I did bench Rodgers. Ideally, I wouldn't really have him in my team, but I've got too many other issues, I think. But he only got 2 points, so that's fine on the bench. The rest of the team is not much really to shout about. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to Game Week 31 and thoughts for that. It's a blank game week, and I've got some issues. Potentially, I got no defenders, no fit defenders, no available defenders, because I've got Gabriel who's not playing, Munoz who's not playing, and then I've got Gay, who is, at the moment, it's looking like blank. It's one of those, it's not an impossibility that he won't end up playing. I'll go on to that. I've got Michele, who I think is getting closer to coming back, but he's still down as a 50% chance of playing. And Ballard, he's at a 75% chance of playing. With him hamstring injury, I think he will will start. So I could end up with just Ballard. So if I'm lucky, Ballard will start. Michele or some fine. He's back fit again, and then so I've got 2 defenders, but I wouldn't. I'm not expecting that. So, unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to use up some transfers. I've only got 2 free transfers and I don't have the wild card. So that's something for me to think about what's going to happen. Yeah. As I said, City and Palace, because they would have played each other game week 31. There is a chance that that fixture could fit in on the 7th of April, which is still game week 31. There's actually a long time between, there's 3 weeks between game week 31 deadline and Game Week 32 starts. It's an international break and FA Cups and so on. So it could go into the 7th of April as it is played. But even if it is played, who knows, we'll play with pep roulette and so on, because it's the game, if it is on the 7th of April, the game could be right in between when City play Liverpool in the FA Cup, and then they've got fixtures against Chelsea and then Arsenal. So big games there. Pep may decide to rest some players there. I've only got Semenyo and Gay now. I don't have Haaland. So yeah, I can't see myself. I think potentially what I'm gonna do is gonna put Semenyo and Gay in my 11 just in case they do end up playing, but then have enough cover on the bench in case they don't end up playing, which is, it's more likely they will not play than will play, but you never know. Looking a little ahead to sort of the blank game weeks and so on, and what could happen. There are, and if I want to get some players in who are guaranteed to play every game week now, there are 7 teams who won't blank in 31 or 34 or any other game week that there's a blank, because they're out of all the cups. So United, Brentford, Spurs, Fulham, Villa, Sunderland and Forest are going to play every game week. That's for the rest of the season. So if you get one of those players in, then you don't need to worry about that. Unless you want to target players who are obviously going to be potentially, they will blank, but then they've got the potential double. So that's something to think about. Just looking a bit ahead to game week 34, and that it's not a million miles away, so it may affect some decisions you make with your transfers, and if you're lucky enough to have the wild card, if they're going to be blanking, but obviously they will end up doubling. So it's going to be Arsenal, the fixtures which could be postponed in 34. Arsenal versus Newcastle, Bournemouth versus Leeds, Brighton, Chelsea, Burnley, City, Liverpool v Palace, and West Ham, Everton. Arsenal, if they beat Southampton in the FA Cup quarterfinals, which they'll be favourite to, then Arsenal, Newcastle won't happen in 34. Bournemouth, Leeds beat West Ham, then Bournemouth, Leeds won't happen, but then that will mean that the West Ham Everton game will 100% happen. Brighton versus Chelsea, the fixture is if Chelsea beat Port Vale, which obviously they'll be favourites to. So that game will be postponed if that happens. And then it's Burnley versus City. If City beat Liverpool in the quarter-final, then that game won't happen. But then Liverpool Palace will happen, and then vice versa. So something just to consider. And there's not too much time to do anything, because the deadline is Friday at 6:30 p.m. UK time. I'm filming this on Wednesday evening. It's half time now on the Champions League games. At the moment, Spurs are 1-0 up, but that's not going to affect anything for your FPL team. And Liverpool are 1-0 up, and it's 1-1 in aggregate. So, yeah, the results today aren't going to affect the FPL team decisions. So, anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you would like, comment, subscribe, and all that, that'd be fantastic. And otherwise, don't forget the deadline on Friday evening, and hopefully green arrows. Thanks, bye.